I used our insurance money for my husband's death until it was depleted to make my house payment. I had no gas, and so no gas, no heat. So I not only was jeopardized with utilities, but I was jeopardized with whether I was going to get to keep my house or not.
We've used the Ohio Housing Trust Fund really since funds were first available. We've used them to operate a homeless shelter. We use it for our transitional housing for the homeless. We use it for housing counseling, down payment assistance, and of course we use it for our home repair for the elderly.
The loveliest people I ever met came here, and they started in on my house. I have a new furnace. I don't have a gas leak anymore. The cost of these things were beyond my reach at this point.
The Ohio Housing Trust Fund has a proven track record of success over 25 years, and it focuses on the most vulnerable Ohioans who are at risk of homelessness or otherwise need access to affordable housing. The Housing Trust Fund is a flexible resource that can be used for meeting a wide variety of needs, whether it's helping seniors maintain their housing by offering home repair services, whether it's to help lift people out of homelessness and provide them access to permanent housing with supports they need to maintain that housing, or whether it's to build new housing opportunities or rehab existing housing so that low-income families have a chance to build a stronger life together.
The Housing Trust Fund plays an extremely important role in helping Ohioans who are in need. They have, over the years, and this is their 25th anniversary, have expended over $670 million and have helped over 1 million people. Many Ohioans don't know that approximately 1.5 million Ohioans are spending more than 50% of their income on housing costs.
It's designed and focused, and it was created to serve those with the greatest need.
The Ohio Housing Trust Fund is one of the few funding sources there are to help us, provide those essential services and support operations. So it's absolutely vital to our operations. We serve a lot of people in our county. Last year we served over 2,200 people in our shelter, and that's a lot of people in our community. And so it's really vital and it's essential in helping us move people out of homelessness.
I worked. I thought I was doing really, really good. Worked for a couple years, paid my own rent. I crashed. At that time, I didn't know I had a mental illness. I was diagnosed a year ago. I am bipolar. I do crash and burn. I got a referral to the Anna Louise Inn, which is permanent housing, built-in counseling. Had it not been for the services at Shelter House through the drop-in center, I don't think I'd be here today.
The economic impact that comes from the Ohio Housing Trust Fund is tremendous. We have empirical data that shows for every dollar the Housing Trust Fund invests, we get a $15 return in economic activity. That helps the entire state, all 88 counties, with local job creation, local economic benefit throughout the state of Ohio and all 88 counties. By getting these folks who are using the Housing Trust Fund into the system, we can help them with other things that they might need, most notably health care.
When you're homeless, you don't think about your health. I didn't have no health insurance or nothing. So when I came to the shelter, they found out that I had diabetes because I just had a routine checkup, and they said you had diabetes. I had no hope basically. So when they found the apartment for me, I was ecstatic because I didn't think that people help people like that, especially people like me who have been in trouble.
The population that we serve here at the Commons at Livingston is 100% disabled, low income, and veterans as well. They have to have a history of military service. And we have a number of units here set aside for homeless veterans as well. We worked with the VA, and the VA provides all of our on-site supportive services. So they're responsible to really ensure that residents that come in are linked up with the programs, the services and supports that they need within the building and within the community. Over 90% of the residents that exit the program never return to the streets or shelters. So it's a really viable solution to homelessness.
Well, being at Commons in Livingston has changed my life in many different ways. But it is such a blessing to be here, to be able to grow. It has just made me feel independent. It's made me feel more accepted in society. I'm proud when I come here and I know I got my own key and I put it in the lock and I come in the door. And I can say, this is mine. It's affordable for me.
And we have an opportunity, and I think even an obligation, to help those less fortunate to get to secure, safe, affordable housing and to transition from what might otherwise be homelessness or life on the streets, life in a car, back to a productive member of society. Huntington is a significant investor in low-income housing tax credits, and we have been for many years. And I mean significant to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars throughout Ohio. It's vital for us to have a statewide organization looking at how to make both seed money available but also quality assurance so that our investments and our contributions are in turn well cared for. And thus, the statewide emphasis from the Ohio Housing Trust Fund is really important to us.
The genesis of it goes back to the late 1980s when there was a tremendous spike in homelessness. And it was because of that a constitutional amendment was brought before the people of Ohio in 1990. The constitutional amendment created a public purpose in Ohio's Constitution, was passed overwhelmingly by the voters. And then following that, the General Assembly created the Ohio Housing Trust Fund through implementing language, and so the trust fund now has been doing good work for over 25 years.
We've enjoyed a 25-year history of bipartisan support, so we look forward to another 25 years of bipartisan support in our state legislature.
Over the last year, we've seen an increasing number of people come through our doors seeking shelter and services. We've seen over 14% higher numbers than we have in the previous year.
Now, every time we use the Housing Trust Fund, it is not a standalone program. We use it we're able to leverage additional federal money that we would not normally be able to use in this county because we wouldn't have matching funds. And we have a whole continuum of services available for people that are homeless or in danger of being homeless. And without the trust fund, I don't know that we could leverage anything.
The Ohio Housing Trust Fund gives hope, gives opportunity for those who might not otherwise be able to afford housing throughout their lifetime. And this is a vital need, and we have a tremendous resource, a tremendous asset in the trust fund that we should be protecting. In fact, we should be enhancing. Not everyone is participating in this economic recovery over the last 6 years. There's a lot of opportunity yet for us to do more to help those in need.
If I need anything done, if I need something I can't figure out, it's always a door or somebody is willing to help me because they see the change in me. So it's all about reaching out. It's all about honesty, it's all about open-mindedness, it's all about willingness. If you take those three things and apply them to your life on a daily basis, you will progress.
I know now what it's like to be cold, and I know now what it's like to be poor, and I will ever be grateful that I get to stay in my home.